Hey, what's up guys? My name is Michael Westbrook. As always, thank you for watching this video. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Voyager version 2 from Walrus Audio. If you're not familiar with the Voyager, this is Walrus Audio's Klon style overdrive, but this new version adds two big features. You get a mode selector which offers 5 different types of clipping, as well as a parametric EQ. This allows you to take away mids or add mids and select that center frequency. This is by far my favorite feature just because it really allows you to tweak your tone and get lots of different kinds of sounds. A lot of times when I'm making full band demos of overdrive pedals or fuzzes, distortion pedals, they all kind of imprint the same sonic footprint on a track. And so when you start to stack tracks, you start to layer a lot of different guitar parts, they can all step on each other. It's really easy to make things sound cluttered. This pedal allowed me to really shape those mids, really shape my tone of certain parts to allow space for other parts, or to push those mids forward to allow certain parts to be heard a little more easily. Between the mid control and the tone knob, there is a lot of flexibility in this pedal. And then you add the 5 different clipping modes on there and it's tons of different sounds. Today, we're gonna take a closer listen to the pedal in a full band demo as well as some solo clips. All right, let's take a closer look at the Voyager. As you can see, I have it hooked up as well as the Ages from Walrus Audio. I want to check out the Voyager and some of the features so you guys can get a feel for it. But then I also want to show you how I like using Klon style pedals and how the features on the new Voyager work really well for stacking overdrives. I'm using my Sugar guitars and I'm plugged into my Fender Deluxe Reverb. Here's our clean tone. On that bridge pickup, I'm getting just a little bit of hair when I dig in. That's how I like to set up my amps, just on the edge of breakup when I really dig in. Let's take a listen to the 5 clipping modes here on the Voyager. I have the mid control disengaged. It's foot switchable here. And so I will have it turned off just to give you guys a feel for the different gain clipping options here. So obviously you can hear on that last mode, there's a big bass boost. And then on mode 2 as well, there's a bass boost. So 1 and 2 are the same clipping, just with 2 having the bass boost, and 4 and 5 are the same clipping with 5 having a bass boost. This is a common mod for Klon style overdrives just because they do take off a little bit of bass. I actually prefer the less bass options. The more bass options are great for really thickening things up, but I also feel like I have to compensate on those a little bit with turning that tone knob up. I'm going to go back to mode 1, and this is kind of your standard Klon style clipping. And then let's take a look at this mid control. This is, again, I think I said this in the intro, this is my favorite control on this pedal just because it really gives you a lot of flexibility with the tone of this pedal and where it sits in the mix, where it sits with other things that are going on when you're playing. So we'll turn the mid control on there, foot switchable obviously. This frequency knob goes all the way from 350 up to 2K. 350 tends to be kind of the weight of a sound. It can also kind of verges on muddy, kind of cleaning up some of that stuff can really give you more clarity. Or if you're boosting up here like 2K, 1K, that's going to give you those kind of upper mids that are going to help push you in front of the mix, but then also give you some clarity in top end, starting to get into the highs there. Center is 550. I think around there, maybe a touch higher is kind of your typical tube screamer mid bump. But again, the nice thing with this is that we can cut those mids or we can push those mids. So we'll start just right there in the center around 550. And then actually, there's an indentation here in the center. Let's hear it standard, and then I will take those mids out, and then we'll also push them forward to see the different sounds there. Obviously, pushing those all the way up, you almost get like a cocked wah type sound. And I think this type of sound becomes even more apparent when you turn up the frequency and start boosting those sounds there. Another thing that I found myself using this on, we'll go up to mode 2 for these types of sounds, is getting kind of higher gain sounds, but then taking out some mids just so that they didn't, so the sound wasn't quite as thick. It wasn't taking up quite as much space. You can tell that foot switchable mid really allows you to kind of take some weight out of that sound, but it still sounds fat, especially in that mode 2 with the bass boost there. So I've gone over to mode 3. Now I want to talk about stacking Klon style overdrives. This is my favorite use for these kinds of pedals. I love using a Klon style overdrive for single note stuff or lead type sounds. Kind of boosting my sound, in front. Klon style circuits like the Voyager inherently have a bit of that mid push in them. Obviously, with this, you can kind of control how much or how little of that you want, which is something I really loved about this pedal as I was making the demo, just because it allowed it to be really flexible. But I want to turn on the ages now, and we'll kind of experiment with some of those sounds. I'm on mode 3 now. Here is just the ages. The Ages is kind of a blues breaker style overdrive, and I'm in mode 1 on that. It again is super flexible, has a lot of great options on it. So mode 3 on the Voyager here is no mid control engaged. Mode 3 to my ear has a lot of sustain, just kind of grabs those notes and hangs on to them for a little bit longer there. Even without the mid control engaged, you can really hear there's kind of this mid push, this really singy mid range. Again, that's a signature Klon thing to me at least, and one thing that I think that people really love about these types of circuits. Let's hear this mid control here. We're going to kind of... Actually, let's take out some of that singy mid stuff. See if we can tame that down a little bit. So right there, you can hear how it kind of takes away that upper mid-range kind of sing thing that it has just inherently in that sound. So if you don't like that or it's not fitting with what you're doing, you can get rid of it with that mid control. I'm going to go over to mode 5 now. We'll go the other way. Kind of push some of these lower mid type tones and see what kind of things we can get there. Lots of sustain, especially in mode 5 there with the bass boost and then boosting some of those mid frequencies. It's just super thick, really rich. I think the Voyager is a really great pedal for stacking just because you can tweak those mids so much. Let's hear that without the Ages just so we can get some context and an idea of how that sounds. Overall, I think this new version of the Voyager is a huge win for Walrus. Not only does it give you classic boost and overdrive tones, but it adds a lot of flexibility with the new clipping modes and the mid EQ. It's almost like having two pedals in one. A lot of times when I'm recording guitars here in my home studio, I'm using a EQ to shape the mids, either to push them out or thicken them up, or to take away some of that weight. And you can easily do this with the new Voyager or just have your classic Klon style overdrive tones. That's gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Big thank you to Walrus Audio for having me on this release. All right, until next time, I'll see you out there.